Welcome to the video tutorial of Syntax City. My name is Barbara Fernandez. I am a speech-language therapist, and today I'm going to show you this incredible tool to help kids practice their syntax. To get started, we click on Visit the City, and you can see I already have here a visitor with a visitor badge, and now I'm going to add a second visitor. If this is your first time using this app, you will enter a visitor name. I'm going to go ahead and enter myself. Then I'm going to tap on this 3x4 smiling photo area, and I can enter my own photo or an avatar. Let me select an avatar here, and let's try to use this avatar right there. Once I'm done, I can click on Save the Form. The reason for creating avatars is because Syntax City will monitor the progress of the child that is needing to practice his or her syntax skills. Now, as you can see here, I clicked on the settings button to show that you can customize the app to meet the needs of the student. So let's go ahead and start a practice session. Practice sessions can be done with 1 or up to 4 students at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and select both of my students here. And now I have this screen, and I want to show you all the different areas that Syntax City can be utilized to support that child. Let's say for some reason that Barbara is having difficulty remembering her plurals. And I just drag and drop her. You see here the zoo, it says plural zoo. We go ahead and drag and drop that. This is going to automatically display a pop-up that will give you options for the different areas within plurals that you can target. So for example, if I know that Barbara is having specific challenges with irregular plurals, I go ahead and select that. Now, I can also let Barbara practice her third person regular if I drag and drop her on the beach. If you need to zoom in and see all the areas, as you can see here, the beach is third person singular. Then the ski resort, he and she, for difficulties with pronouns. Then you have irregular past tense, do, does. And that just happens to be the area where Jen is having difficulty with. These levels here are the number of options offered. So I'm going to select option 2. Once I pinch to zoom in and zoom out, you will see, you can get an overview of all the different areas and different areas that we can practice within this app. Now let's go ahead and click next once we're done setting up our game.
The sands of time will just sail by as you have fun practicing verb agreement. I'm sure you and all of the verbs would agree that fun at the beach is always a great subject.
The crab in the shell.
Now here we're looking at your verb agreement, hides or hide. The child will read or listen to the audio and select the correct answer. If it's wrong, it disappears, and if it's correct,
Hides.
He gets a simple animation. Now, you can allow them to actually say that phrase out loud to help reinforce that learning moment. So if I click on the recording button, it says here, would you like to record the phrase? And this is something that I highly recommend once a child can demonstrate that she understands it so she can make the correct selection. We want to go ahead and let them read that phrase or say it back to you. You can say, the crab hides in the shell. Now you go. The crab hides in the shell. Stop, and they can listen to it again. The crab hides in the shell. So this allows them to hear that phrase back, spoken back to them, which reinforces the correct use of that subject-verb agreement. Now notice this screen here. In this screen, I want to point out, notice how we have Jen. Jen is the student that is going to take his turn answering this question. If you are in a classroom where you have multiple students needing different grammar practice, as soon as they see their avatar, they can take their turn answering it. If you're just doing an individual practice with a student, the only image that they will see would be their own avatar. So now Jin, we know that he's was working on do does, so he would make the
Does.
selection. And since he made the selection correctly on the first attempt, he gets a token. And once he gets 10 tokens, the app will give him a little surprise. We'll have the option here to get the student to record to reinforce this learning.
The are thirsty.
So here it went back to Barbara. Barbara has her turn to make a selection. And in this case, we are targeting a different task. Here we are targeting your plurals, your irregular plurals. Remember we talked earlier, this was one of her goals. But she failed.
Moose.
She gets an animation nonetheless. She doesn't get the token.
What sport? They do.
Notice how Jin has 2 tokens.
They
And notice
fast.
how Barbara's task is randomly being alternating between the 2 items that I've selected, the 2 specific goals that she needs to work on.
Run.
And now Barbara has 1 token. Now I'm going to click done and we're going to explore the report card. The report card, you select your student or your child if you're a parent working with your child at home. And let's take a look at the player's performance. Now for Barbara, we can see that the areas in gray are areas that she has not yet had a chance to practice. We have only had 1 practice session, which was today, March 19th, 2023. There were 2 participants. It lasted 4 minutes, and the accuracy is 60%. And you can also see that she's doing better with the third-person singular skills versus the plurals. Now, if we click on John, player's performance, John was working on do does, and he managed to get 100% of the questions correctly. You're able to share this data, clicking on the share button, email it. Once it loads on the email, it's a PDF file that gets emailed out. Now, what this did is opened up the email app within the Apple app, and you can send this to a teacher, a parent if you're the teacher, or anybody who needs to be supporting that child in these specific learning skills. So this is another area in which we're really proud of Syntax City. It says treasures around town, and you can scroll, and as kids get 10 correct answers in a row, they get to unlock these different tokens in each area of the town. Now Barbara didn't have any, and Jen also doesn't have any. Eventually this will motivate kids to continue to practice to unlock the stickers. This is something that they really enjoy, and once they fill it up, they can also click a share button and they can print so that they can see exactly all the stickers that they collected throughout Syntax City. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to get a copy and download Syntax City, you can go directly to the App Store on an iPad and get a copy of Syntax City.